Oops. Don't tell me the stream died. We didn't even need this endurance. This is like too funny. Alright, what do we do here? If they mind censor us, we probably lose. Just like, you know, that was not the nuts. Yeah, that is true. That definitely was not the nuts. I don't think we want Magus. If they do that to us, we probably lose as well. What do we even want? We don't want Oof against them. Nothing feels worse than losing to Randomir when they have the nuts. That's probably true. It's like pretty accurate. We don't want Shepard. I guess we're just cutting Esper Sentinel? Doesn't seem right. Maybe that's the cut, yeah. Yeah, actually, it probably is, because we want to seize, right? Like, do we want anything here? Probably not. Artisan feels like it's probably good, right? Because you can, like, Artisan for endurance or something. The hand hate to strip your interaction is just dirty. So there's an argument to be made that Fiend Artisan is too slow for this matchup, but I feel like if you can get it out, you probably just straight up win. Or sometimes they just like show and tell, right? And I don't think we want like conflict in our mana base too, so maybe that's why you board at Sun. I'm not 100% sure. I'll be honest about that. Yeah, this is definitely not a keep though. That's the wrong land. Where do they pitch? Corsa Brand? Sure. We just have to hope that they don't have it. They probably do, but we'll see. Actually, the C's is clutch here. Thank goodness for the top deck. Okay. We just have to fade for 2 turns. Oh god, we didn't fade. You got to be kidding me. God. Like literally nothing I can do about that. How annoying. Mode of 5. I think we're just dead on board, but I could be wrong. Now we are dead on board. That was kind of annoying. I wonder. I don't think we want plow, but maybe. Now we suddenly have too much like cards that we potentially want against Reanimator. Plow is actually probably better than Fiend Artisan, but They probably can beat it. I have to think about that. Cloud answers what's his name? Archon, but they should be going for Gristle Brand and just like refueling. I think we just keep. Hey, David, how's it going? We're playing for the 5-0 here against Reanimator. With essentially Maverick. Ley line, please. Ooh. This has just an endurance as protection. It's a little bit soft. Like they can go like turn 1, seize your endurance and then pass. I feel like this is a mole. Yeah, this is like way better. Keep. The other hand might have been just a trap hand. There's an anime dead. They can like grief us. I think they have the Thoughtseize themselves, and if they go for it, they get blown out. And pray? No, you don't do that. Like I don't. That doesn't make any sense. I think you take grief and you. Okay, if I take grief, they may or may not unmask themselves, but then they could actually just animate dead the grief, right, and then like target us before going off. Um. Yeah, they can grief us here, and then they take our endurance, or they can just unmask us. Yeah, that's probably accurate. They need to draw reanimation plus pitch or reanimation plus endoom. Yeah. Okay, they're gonna hard cast grief here, I think. Sure. I think if they're good, they can probably figure out where our line is. If we try to like, have them walk into the endurance. All right. If we untap, we're probably good to go and win this game. Agreed. We should be in the driver's seat now. With that Reclaimer 1-card combo. In my experience, I had my unbeaten record against them doing this broken the other day. It's almost impossible. I was like 100 or whatever and won and 0 against this, and now not anymore. But I think we have like a lot of turns. We go to 10 here. Yeah, it's no way that's gonna go. Although I did have my unbeaten record against them reanimate or something like that broken up the other day. Very sad times for sure. Get a cradle. Land. Hey Ramona, how's it going? We don't know their hand. I think we can still wait. Go to 7. We have like a few turns before we actually have to do anything. It's always reanimator. Sure. Okay, I'm glad I didn't tap out for no reason. They might have a second Entomb if they did that. There it is. There it is. We did it. Yeah, it's probably over now. We get the 5-0. Sure. All right. Guess we have to pitch. All right. Woo! So we 5-0 with Maverick, more or less. I'll bring up the deck list. You can pretty much do anything now with this shell and just 5-0, right? Like this is kind of ridiculous. Like I'm throwing random cards in, and we 5-0'd with it. Like Esper Sentinel, just not really an elf card normally, right? We had the one Allosaur Shepherd. It wasn't really relevant. I guess we might have had like one natural order. I don't remember. All right, take care, David. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, we got the 5-0. So fittingly, Straz Daddy, Maverick Fiend here is in the building to catch our, us reclaiming the days, right, of Maverick. Now, the Magus didn't really do anything. We boarded in one match, but it didn't really do anything. The combo hate was like super relevant. We didn't draw the lane line, but the Mindbreak Trap won us against the Epic Gamble. The Thoughtseize was good. I think the big question mark was like game 3, whether we keep that opening 7. We did not, and I think that was the correct move because like it was really all in on endurance, and I think they can beat one reanimation spell. How are we doing? We just 5-0 Sadra. Yeah. So here are the matchups: the Epic Gamble, the Sandwich King. What was that? What were they on here? 2-minute win. Oh, they're on blue red. Okay. So we beat the Epic Gamble, we beat Delver, we beat DNT, we beat a strange Echo of Aeon's Brood. This is actually a very scary matchup that we could have easily lost. I don't think so, Sadra. Unless you want to play Maverick. We beat, what is it called? Uricat's here on Reanimator. My thoughts with this list that I should try just for the heck of it. But my thoughts were, I felt like the white mana was definitely could be problematic against like a different deck. Obviously this card is like amazing. You have it early, but I didn't feel like it really did anything, right? Like we won almost all of our games without it. I think like it was an extra creature one time, that was about it. But I don't really love it. I think the Elf Shell is probably better. I'm still sold on the ability for our dorks to end the game in standard elves. Yeah, I do think that is a big deal. Like, Don't get me wrong, the Birds of Paradise to cast a Gris, I think one time like came up. I think I was able to cast an Esper Sentinel also with it. But then I think like if we just play green cards, that won't be as big an issue, and we can close the game out with Allosaur Shepherd. So like while Sentinel was like decent, I'm not sure it was worth splashing a color. Now, the one thing that was pretty relevant though was the Endurance main deck just like freeing up a whole bunch of slots. So maybe you just play the full set of Shepherd and then just like call it a day or something, right? With the Dorks. And then have the Endurances main. No, I think you would need to have them be what's it called? Not ignobles, but I think Landlord Elves because I think you want to be able to finish the game with Allosaur Shepherd. It was not great. It was a potential liability actually a few times, especially against that DNT player. So I think it's better to just play all green cards if you can. Um, the main deck endurance definitely won us the first game against Reanimator, and the sideboard obviously like you can color shift to snuff outs or whatever. What about Hog Fiend? I don't even know what that does. Yeah, if it was an elf, I would probably slam Iggy or oh Hogak, sure. Hogak is something I thought about, and maybe it's worth exploring, but I think it could have the same issues because a card that I thought about to make the I talked about this in my Discord, but and here's my Discord again. A card I talked about in this slot to get the because you have to have a number of one drops to make Fiend Artisan work because I don't think you can just like play like Dorks and that's enough or Dorks and Reclaimer and that's enough because you need to like pitch like consistently. And the card I thought about was Stitcher Supply exactly, and with Stitcher Supply you can play Hogak too, right? And you're conveniently already in black. I've liked both the standard G and yours green light. Yeah, so Stitcher is the card that I thought about because you don't actually lose to graveyard hate, but at the same time you get the benefits of it pumping Artisan and it pumping Reclaimer. Now you suddenly become like right now we're not quite at the point where the opponent will board in graveyard hate against us just yet, but with Supplier they may. But then again, you at the worst it's still a creature. Yeah, we're like trending in every direction, right, Mario? Like today we're trying Maverick. I think next we're probably gonna try like Matt's Olay's deck. But I could see like Stitcher Supply being pretty good instead of Esper Sentinel. The one issue that I potentially see with that is you probably need or want some number of like maybe like a Fierce Empit for Hogak as well. Now I don't know how weak we want to be to Graveyard Hate, but like we're getting weaker and weaker to it. Just not at the point where people will actually board it in against us yet. Yeah. So that's one issue, and that's why Matt's actually Sadra didn't play the Hogak, right? Like in his list, like I have to like save it somewhere because it gets brought up like casually every once in a while, and um, I do think there is merit in having really good mana, and I think Supplier could be okay, especially if instead of Burrs we play Ignoble now, right? Uh, there is one issue I found with Gris, like and too many three drops. It is a problem. Like against like the curve is kind of high. Yeah, so I can see the argument for two. I definitely would not play more than that. Like the curve is already really high for what it's worth, and in fair matchups you don't really want to evoke endurance if anybody's gonna mention that. Very rarely is that the correct play in fair matches. No, I don't think so. Def not Oz. So yeah, pretty interesting list. I think uh, one league is enough for me to be not sold, so to speak, on the Esper Sentinel. I just don't think being in white and black is worth it. So maybe the happy medium to like push this even further is Stitcher Supply. But again, if you play Stitcher Supply, you kind of need Hogak, and I don't know if I want to make myself suddenly weak to Graveyard Hate. If no white, is Delver rough? No, I don't think so. So Straz Daddy, it's good that you're here. I think the black removal is a little bit awkward against Delver for sure. Ever since they moved away from Ragavan, because, or ever since it got banned, I should say, because before we used to run Assassin Trophy, and this was before they ran the one basic plus the what's it called, Mystic Sanctuary as well. So we could handle like, you know, their Murktide with the four or the three Assassin Trophy that we ran. The problem then became like Ragavan got banned, and that was like bad for us because we just didn't care about that card. Like you can, you know, have all the treasure tokens you want, but then they started playing Delver again, and then I think the hands that we lose to are actually not the Murktide hands. They're now the double 3 power start hands that have a lot of, you know, disruption backing it, and I think unfortunately, you still want your removal to hit Murktide in an emergency, but like the best removal against that deck tends to be like Shriek Maw, but Shriek Maw is bad against everything else. With Manadors, isn't Choke good against? Nah, see that. So that's the other thing, Mike. I don't think we want more 3 drops. Like there's like a million already in this list. I mean, well, by a million I mean like five, right? I don't think like being behind is the thing, right? I think you have to be able to just stall the stop the bleeding, and that's why endurance is so good, right? Like you nuke their yard and then you deal with Delver's secrets or insectile aberration. I mean, and then you eventually just win because Fiend Artisan is like there was a point where you would lose the long game because of expressive iteration, right? But in my experience playing the Fiend version for what 2 months now, yeah, roughly 2 months now. I would say that's just no longer true. Is push not good enough to cut white? It might be actually, and the reason being is because your losses are mostly not to they're generally not to Murktide region anymore. And that might be worth exploring again. Especially with the, you know, spirit guys to like really ramp out these big Fiend Artisans for either Grist or whatnot. But I think push might be okay to test again because Fiend Artisan means you just don't lose to expressive iteration anymore, which used to be a problem. So that is probably worth exploring. I think like other people, I'm gonna go to the okay, so I'm gonna review this real quick. So we beat the Epic Gamble, which is an awful matchup. Thanks to our mind break traps. We beat what are they on? We beat Delver. We beat DNT. We beat like an Echo of Aeon's Brew, and then we beat Reanimator. Now I'm gonna bring up my. All right, I call this real Pharaoh, right? Because only one elf. Have you seen the spider that destroys all the flyers? I don't think I have. What is that, Romario? I've seen some spiders. So let's copy this. Open a new deck. So let's call this template, and I can send this whoever wants. Fiend template. So I think here's the core, right? Like, not even Shepherd to be honest. And then I'm gonna ignore this for a second. I don't think we want white to be honest. This could stay. Like this is like pretty flexible. Hey, just saw that card yesterday on a list from how you 6 mana is like a million, Romario. I don't think we can do that. So 52. Okay. All right. So I consider this 49 here the template, and you can just kind of like do anything and win with it, right? Like, obviously you have to be in the right color for either opposition agent or if you're not in black, you want to be in white. You want to be playing Avid Mind Sensor. So let's make that swap already right now, since I think agent is just better being in black. But yeah, essentially this is the 49 cards, and actually cut Savannah. We want to buy one, and then I guess move this to the main deck. Yeah, so I consider this like the Fiend template, right? Like, you can play anything within this core and like win. And obviously these Birds of Paradise, these 4 dorks can be whatever you want. If you want the elf shell, this is what it probably looks like. So I played this yesterday. I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. I 4-0'd, and then I had a drop match because of the once upon a time like resizing bug. So I technically had a chance to 5-0 with this list yesterday, but we went 4-1, I guess, right? The one being the drop match. And the four matches that I played, I went 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. And I'll bring it up here again because I think it is worth it. All right, so here's what I played yesterday. I played against. This is like hard matchup. I think I probably would not be favored to be fair against Test, but you never know, right? I didn't get to play. Doomsday, I think, is like pretty even. Their favorite pre-board were favorite post. I think Yorion Ephemer is depending on if you draw removal, and then I did game two and won because of that. I had snuff out, and then I like snuffed out their dork, and they weren't able to really play Magic. And then Blue Zenith here, I think is very good matchup. What is the resizing bug? Hey Jeff, the resizing bug is like when you you cast Once Upon a Time and then you try to resize the window because it's like too small. I'm trying to read the cards and it glitches the whole Moto client. And then I try to get back to the game, which has normally worked in the past. Unfortunately, for the first time yesterday, it just like did not let me back in the game after multiple tries and I timed out. Like, granted, I was probably gonna be down a game because the Storm player, the Test player, was in the middle of comboing and then I like, glitched right because it just like didn't stop working for whatever reason. So unfortunately, did not get to complete the 5-0 there, but things would have changed potentially. Like if, like granted, a lot of things would have changed. Right, I might have had the same matchups that I had, but nevertheless, if Jeff, if you're just joining us right now, we just 5-0 with this nonsense here. But again, I think we 5-0 in spite of Esper Sentinel, not because of it. Like I think the mana is a problem, and I think I'd rather stay in green black because I think Seize is really good, and I think Grist is really good, and Bog like casts both. Does that apply to look at the top X display? It might because I know Ponder. Anybody in chat who knows this, I think Ponder has the same bug. Anything that requires you looking at multiple cards at once and then trying to reset. I think Doomsday might have this bug too. I don't remember, but I think definitely Ponder. And if somebody can, so Curtis with the cheeky reference here. Yeah, so Doomsday has some problem too. Like Romario would know, and I think Ponder has that issue too. Like if you just like size it too quickly, it just like messes up on you. I again, like you said, or like I said, I normally I just log out and then log back in, and it's not a problem. So Thoughtseize, yeah, it would be an issue. Echo 81, I did get the 5-0. But yeah, there's like issues with Once Upon a Time that it cost me the 5-0 potentially yesterday, but we got it today, and I mean, there's really no reason to race it at this point. Like 19 trophies is a lot, so it doesn't really matter anyways. But nevertheless, it would have been, and I still get my 10. I will get my 100 play points back or whatever it is. All right. What to do? I think I'm pretty satisfied, honestly. Like, I guess we could in real time test Stitcher Supplier. Like, I don't think it's that expensive. I don't know. We'd have to probably. Okay, let's do this in real time, I guess. Stitcher Supplier. So actually, Jeff, it's funny you mentioned that because I will jokingly I joked with Max Gilmore about this when I won the trophy race. Uh, I think that might be more impressive than anything I've ever done, given how hard it is to actually like. There's more nonsense that Elves is potentially susceptible into leagues, and then like me hitting like 1950 rating, I think is like probably harder than winning like or top 80 on challenge maybe, right? Like because like you do have to have more things that you're potentially weak to in leagues than in like challenges or whatever. Granted, the challenge caliber of players is probably a little bit better. Yeah, I've had people have mentioned before the all five reanimator league, right? Like Stitcher. All right, let's see if we can build this deck in real time. I think we'll cut this now. There's really no need, right? Uh, move to deck. I'll cut the Savannah. And then I don't think maybe we don't need that. I play one more the 3 animator. Yeah, sometimes I mean at least I get nice reanimator practice, right? That's kind of cool. I think you play 4. Now, what do we? Okay, we definitely want. We definitely want the Bayou, so I'll add 1. And then I think we want like the opposition agent for sure. So maybe it looks like this. The problem is like, what does this add? Like, is this better than Allosaurus Shepherd? I'm not sure it is, right? Like, unless we're playing GAC. So if we do play this and go all in, like that is my problem with this card right now, right? Like we have the same problem with Esper Sentinel, probably a little bit better than that because we're in the better color. But unless we're really getting value off of this, I'm not sure it's better than just playing more Allosaurus Shepherd, right? So maybe that's it, right? Like you don't play this, maybe you go back up to 3 Allosaurus Shepherd, or maybe even, and then you have like a few flex spots. I could see this like being the core in the future, right? You have 4 Allosaurus Shepherd, 4 Endurance. You get to play main, so you have like better what is it called? So you have better game against combo game 1. I think the issue I find with this kind of build is I don't want to randomly lose to DNT. And again, you just have like a lot of bad cards now against DNT. I could see like a second Gris. Oops. In this slot, what will we add? I think we probably just add the 4th one here, right? Like, there's like merit for the first Visionary even, but I don't think I love it. Or the first Queen Ranger. Again, I also don't think I love it. But a lot of room for flexibility, to be honest. Kind of funny how the tables have turned with the DNT matchup. I think yes and no. I think it's like how greedy you want to be with this template, right? Like, obviously the previous. Okay, I realized something right now. I should screenshot this because I need to post this later on. Yeah, I should do that. Right, like we 5-0 with this. I should post it out later on. So undo all of that. But nevertheless, that was the add 4 to the deck. I think this is what it looked like. If anybody wants to correct me, they can. Actually, here. To the sideboard and then to Savannah. So the one in the Stream Decker is not accurate. It's the deck I would play right now if I played a tournament. Is the one in the Stream Decker. But this is what we played tonight, and it felt pretty good. I think with that said, let's see who's playing right now. I think I'm gonna go raid somebody. Mason, I guess I can raid Mason. Shout out to him, but Green definitely needs more hate bears. That's probably true. But hopefully everybody had fun tonight. I'm only gonna do one stream because I don't want to rack my brain. End on a good note here on the 5-0, right? And then I'll go ahead and raid Mason. Thank you everybody. Actually, here's my socials again, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the stream tonight. Raid the Mason card. Thank you, Echo 81. Yeah, we had a good night here with that 5-0.